Welcome to the third episode of Mario Kart Origins. This retrospective series will be going over every Mario Kart game, meaning that it won't only cover the mainline games, but the arcade games tour, and home circuit as well. And in this episode we'll be taking a look at the first Mario Kart you could play while placing an order at Taco Bell, Mario Kart Super Circuit. I'm a big fan of the Game Boy Advance. Although I grew up with a DS, the DS Lite did have backwards compatibility with GBA games, and I did get a Game Boy Advance SP at a flea market back in 2011, so I got to experience both systems. Maybe not in the heyday, but I had so much fun with both. With games like Wario Land 4, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, WarioWare Twisted, and Game & Watch Gallery 4, you can't go wrong. But is Mario Kart Super Circuit amongst the greatest GBA games? Time to find out. The idea of a portable Mario Kart seemed to have started out on the Virtual Boy. There were rumors about a Mario Kart in development for it, though the game was quickly cancelled. But even if it wasn't, Virtual Boy? Portable? Yeah, okay. But the real question is, if Super Mario Kart came out in 1992, why did it take nearly 10 years for a portable Mario Kart when the Game Boy and Game Boy Color were thriving? Well, it's simple. Remember how well Super Mario Kart aged? Imagine that on a system considerably less powerful than that. The game would have had to be a top-down racer, which wouldn't look all that great or be that fun to play, or it could have been a pole position type game. Actually, on the Game Boy Color, they might have been able to pull it off. This game, Toy Story Racers, looks really impressive despite only being 8-bit. But in the end, maybe the original Game Boy and Game Boy Color weren't powerful enough for a full-on Mario Kart. They needed something more advanced, and that thing was the Game Boy Advance. With its 32-bit processor, a Mario Kart could finally be developed for a handheld. The beta for this game is interesting to say the least. Originally, the characters had this weird bobblehead look, and we actually have footage of it in motion. The animations look good, but those designs are just so weird. Other than that, not much really changed. There weren't any cut characters, no alternative titles, or cigarette ads in sight. This game is interesting for a few reasons. Rather than being directly developed by Nintendo EAD, it was instead developed by Intelligent Systems, the same team behind Paper Mario, WarioWare, and Fire Emblem. So it's actually going to feel a little bit different than what we're used to. But don't worry, it's still Mario Kart. I know this is Intelligent Systems we're talking about, but fortunately they didn't change Mario Kart into something radically different like a dating sim.
You just wouldn't like it because it's different, embrace change!
But the real question is, how does Mario's first on-the-go race hold up today? Mario Kart Super Circuit's roster is famously notable when it comes to the new characters added, and that's because there are none. This is literally just 64's roster. To be fair, this is the Game Boy Advance we're talking about, but I would have liked to see at least one or two new characters. By this time, the Mario series had a few mainstay characters like Daisy, Waluigi, Birdo, Waluigi, and quite a few other mainstays, but this time around, there are no new characters. But at the very least, the game has some mainstays. I couldn't imagine if anyone important was replaced by someone like Metal Mario. That could never happen. Overall, my thoughts on the roster are the same as they were in Mario Kart 64. It gets the job done, but I would have liked to see more. The best way I can describe Mario Kart Super Circuit's gameplay is if you threw Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64 into a blender. That could also describe a lot of the game. The game has the look of Mario Kart 64 and the items work similarly, but the controls are like Super Mario Kart, meaning that they're going to take some time to get used to. Just like the SNES, the GBA can't handle fully rendered 3D most of the time, and considering this was one of the first GBA games, developers didn't understand what the GBA was capable of at the time. And without 3D, making turns and drifting doesn't feel all that good. The coins are also back from Super Mario Kart, which increase your speed a bit, and also unlock bonus tracks, which we'll get into in a bit. While it does feel slightly better than Super Mario Kart, it's nowhere near as good as Mario Kart 64. Makes sense since this is a 32-bit game. So far we have the similar, hard to get used to gameplay of Super Mario Kart, but the presentation and item usage of Mario Kart 64. So I would say it's 80% Super Mario Kart and 20% Mario Kart 64. Mario Kart wouldn't be Mario Kart without tracks, and Mario Kart Super Circuit might just surprise you when it comes to the tracks. But let's go over the main tracks in the game first. This game has 20 main tracks as opposed to the usual 16, which is a little bit surprising, and I would say most of the tracks are pretty good and unlike Super Mario Kart, are actually memorable. With tracks like Ribbon Road, Sky Garden, Riverside Park, the awesome variant of Rainbow Road, Sunset Wilds, and of course my favorite track in the game being Cheeseland, this game manages to have a good amount of tracks with a variety of themes. Seriously, there is a track literally made out of cheese, because you know, who doesn't love cheese? We love cheese. While the game does have some bland tracks, specifically the circuit tracks in the 4 variations of Bowser's Castle, for the most part, the game has a selection of fun and memorable tracks. For some reason, Nintendo doesn't give a whole lot of love to this game, so a lot of the tracks were never remade into retro tracks, so if anything, you'll get to experience some tracks for the first time if you've never played this game. But what's going to shock you about this game even more is that there are 20 more tracks. Yes, this game has 40 tracks in total, the second highest amount in the entire series. That's because you're not only getting a brand new Mario Kart, but the entirety of Super Mario Kart. Every track is remade with new music and a new look. The way you unlock these bonus tracks is by collecting a certain amount of coins and finishing in a certain amount of time. It can be really challenging unlocking all of them, but this was actually the first Mario Kart to have a focus on unlockables. While some new characters would have been nice, the fact that Super Mario Kart is unlockable, mind you Super Mario Kart without the map taking up half the screen, is remarkable. I'm gonna say without a doubt, the tracks here are exceptional. I touched on this a bit before, but Mario Kart Super Circuit's presentation looks like a combination of Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64. The character sprites look pretty much exactly how they did in Mario Kart 64, and the tracks for the most part look good. While I do think some of the colors are a bit oversaturated, the game looks pretty good despite being an early GBA game. The music, however, is a mixed bag. While Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64 had consistently great soundtracks, it's a little bit mixed here. That's not saying it's bad, because it's not. There are some great songs usually accompanying the best tracks, being Sky Garden, Sunset Wilds, and Cheeseland, and the sound design for the most part is pretty good, but what they went for here is interesting to say the least. While Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64 sound like they use actual instruments, they went for a more 8-bit style of music here. When done right, it sounds pretty good, but sometimes it just doesn't sound that great. The 8-bit sound effects and trumpet sound they're going for don't always mesh well together, but overall, the presentation is pretty good, just as it always is in Mario Kart. Mario Kart Super Circuit has your standard Mario Kart modes. We got Grand Prix, Time Trials, and of course, Battle Mode exclusive to multiplayer. Battle Mode is yet again Last Man Standing and only Balloon Battle, so it's similar to Super Mario Kart, but unfortunately, I haven't played it. And that brings us into multiplayer where you can actually play up to 4 players with just one cartridge, though the 3 other players will have to play as different colored Yoshis. Yeah, the GBA isn't really a good platform for multiplayer. Maybe it was back then, but it's difficult finding people in the year 2020 to link GBAs with. The DS also didn't have link cable support, so that doesn't make things any easier. Maybe multiplayer nowadays is a bust, but the good news is that there are quite a few things to do in single player. You can unlock all the tracks, play a quick race, which is kinda like an early version of Versus mode, where you can select whatever track you want, but the biggest addition is the introduction of rankings. Before, all you had to do was get first place and that was it. But here, in order to 100% the game, you're gonna need to get a 3-star ranking on every cup. It's no easy task, but it introduced a concept that would become a staple of Mario Kart years down the line. You even get a reward for it, but I have to warn you, it's nothing special. But overall, there's a lot to do in Mario Kart Super Circuit with over 40 tracks and rankings. While it's the absolute least ideal Mario Kart to play with multiple people, there's enough content in single player to keep you busy. So far we've gone over the entirety of Mario Kart Super Circuit. The roster is boring because it's just Mario Kart 64's, the gameplay is okay but a little too close to Super for my liking, the track selection is phenomenal since you're essentially getting 2 games in one, presentation is good, and there's a good amount of content. So what I think of Mario's first on-the-go kart race? Well, the answer is a bit conflicting. You have a great selection of tracks and a ton of stuff to do, but the gameplay is really just an extension of Super Mario Kart. It doesn't feel as bad, but because the Game Boy Advance can't fully render 3D, it's harder to time turns and drift since you don't get the full perception of depth. In other words, the controls don't feel all that good, and it's aged poorly. I remember my first time playing Mario Kart Super Circuit. I borrowed it from a friend back in 5th grade, and because the DS was backwards compatible, I had a chance to play it. But because I played Mario Kart DS before it, my first thoughts were, what the hell is this? It has the same syndrome Super Mario Kart had. The general gameplay is so dated, you'll never be able to fully appreciate it unless you played it in its heyday. I will give Mario Kart Super Circuit credit where credit is due. It introduced cup rankings and introduced the concept of a single player versus mode and retro tracks. And overall, the game is way better than Super Mario Kart. But the fact of the matter is, it has aged poorly. It's not a bad game by any means, just a bit harder to get into compared to recent entries. And not only did it have the disadvantage of being an early Mario Kart, but an early GBA game as well. There are 2 GBA racing games I go back to that handle far better than Super Circuit, and are just overall more fun to play. Crash Nitro Kart released in 2003, it handles almost as well as some of the most modern Mario Kart games, and even has a story mode, though at this point, it's kind of a given Crash racing games are on par if not better than a lot of Mario Kart games. Banjo Pilot released in 2005, and it's also another great racing game, but instead has a twist of planes instead of karts, and controls far better too. Mario Kart Super Circuit is worth going back to for the great tracks and better version of Super Mario Kart that you're getting, but it's overall just dated, but I think that's to be expected. So far every Mario Kart game we've covered haven't aged too well. Mario Kart 64 is the only one that I could say could even come close to how modern Mario Karts play, but about 4 years later, Nintendo released a console with twice the power of the N64, and a few years after, released a Mario Kart with twice the racers. Could the next entry stand the test of time? Join me in episode 4 of Mario Kart Origins where we take a look at Mario Kart Double Dash. But wait just a minute, for a game with 2 racers, we're gonna need 2 people to make the video. Now who could the other person be?
They say slow and steady wins the race. So let's start from the back positions, sometimes intentionally, and use those power items we get from there and bring those up to the top spots to help us win.